Big news in the water polo world. These guys are hanging around. Adam Krikorian and Dejan Udovicic have signed new 4-year contracts. We've got a great story from Wisconsin, college scores, and much more next on The Counterattack. Hi everyone, Greg Mescall here. Thanks for joining us on The Counterattack. As you know by now, big news this week from USA Water Polo. Team USA head coaches Adam Krikorian and Dejan Udovicic have agreed to new 4-year contracts. They will lead the USA men's and women's national teams through the 2020 Olympic Games. Of course, qualifications still to be had, but they're going to be around for the next 4 years. It brings stability to USA Water Polo. This will be the first time ever that both teams have had the same head coaches through 2 quadrennials. We caught up with Coach Krikorian and Coach Udovicic this week to check in about why they stayed on for 4 more.
The process was a tough one, I have to be honest. I think it's been talked about a lot, just the amount of motion and energy that goes into preparing for an Olympics and then going through the Olympics. And then obviously this time around was challenging for different ways. It was a longer process to kind of sort through really all the emotion. In fact, I felt like I had to sort through some other stuff first before I could even begin to think about, the job in itself and kind of doing it again. So it was a long process, but at the end of the day, excited about obviously continuing and. For many reasons, chose to come back and to do this again. I'm excited to see what challenges lie ahead, and just in building new relationships and experiencing something different. The first quad for me was different than the second quad. There was good and bad, and most importantly, I continued to learn and grow as a coach, and that's one of the reasons why I've chosen personally to continue. Is I don't feel like I'm at my peak. I feel like I can be much better, and I can enjoy the process even more. So I'm looking forward to that, making the improvements that I personally need to make, but also, again, forging those relationships, those new relationships.
But it's for me it was easy. I'm glad that USA Water Polo Office, recognized what we are doing last 3 years, and I'm delighted for our future and for our plans, and generally it was original plans that we're gonna continue working, and after Rio for sure, and I just need to thank the players and my staff for the last 3.5 years, and looking forward for upcoming years. Oh, for sure, next 2 years for right now, it's a working process, again, to be better and better, and deciding year for us was our 19 and 20, because Pan American Games qualification and World Championship, and I think that we got the best potential group right now in the world, and they should stay together, there was 9 players from Rio, and we already prepared the newcomers from our pipeline, and I think that we can give the world water polo some new style of water polo, which will be much faster and much more excitement.
And now we go college water polo. And before we get into the 2017 scores, we've got to talk about the college alumni tournament coming this February to Newport Beach, California. We've been putting the challenge out. We want to see more teams signed up. We don't have a full field yet. We're putting the call out there to all those former college water polo players. Get your squad back together. Get signed up. Full information at usawaterpolo.org. And that segues nicely to the college scoreboard as more and more teams are getting underway in 2017. A close one between Marist and Sonoma State. 2 teams with new head coaches, Chris Vidal for Marist and Chelsea Hennon for Sonoma State. This one went to Vidal and the Red Foxes 10-9. Indiana, also a new head coach, Ryan Castle, defeating Hawaii 8-5. UC San Diego and Pacific going to overtime 15-12, the Tritons take it, and more action from the big Santa Barbara Winter Invite. Michigan a rude visitor to the hosts, defeating UC Santa Barbara 7-4. And we stick with women's water polo and a squad you may not be familiar with, Carthage College in Wisconsin, holding a tread-a-thon this week to raise money for team travel, and the Boys and Girls Club of Kenosha, TMJ4, had the story.
If you're watching us right now, we understand why you're watching us, because you spent probably the last couple hours watching some football you're not too happy
and maybe
about.
being a little frustrated.
Yeah.
But Julia Fellow takes us to Kenosha, where the women's polo team at Carthage College is 8 hours into a tread-a-thon.
The hope is for the entire women's polo team here at Carthage College to tread water for 12 hours. And they say that they're doing this to show girl power in this grueling sport.
It proves to us that we can do anything that anybody else can do, just with longer hair.
The ladies initially came to their coach with the idea of a 24-hour tread-a-thon.
I had to curb the enthusiasm a bit and say, let's try 12.
They made it look easy. Texting, FaceTiming,
Because I had my mom.
and even reading a book.
And probably homework, because we have class tomorrow.
But they'll need to find a way to fill the time and their energy.
My biggest worry is my hamstrings cramping up on me.
I need to make sure every hour they're having a banana, they're having some fruit, they're drinking water, they're hydrating. We're a half hour in, how we feeling?
This effort raises money for their team to travel this season, and a portion of their efforts today will go to the Boys and Girls Club of Kenosha.
And the fact that we can donate to such a great organization that offers so much, I think is something that we're all really proud about.
And well worth it, even through the Packers game.
I don't think any of us thought the Packers would get this far, but here we are.
In Kenosha, Julia Fellow, today's TMJ4.
And for a lot of fans, that water looks good about now,
It does look good and take a nice warm dip.
And now back to men's water polo. Five-time Olympian Tony Azevedo honored in his hometown of Long Beach this past week, the Aquatic Capital of America Awards naming him Athlete of the Year. Adam Wright also recognized for his work as a coach at UCLA. Here's Azevedo on what the honor meant to him and telling some of the history of his time in Long Beach.
I'm so blessed to be a part of this community because, you know, I was a water polo player that couldn't swim, and somehow this German guy made me like swimming 100 100s. And if any of you know the great Klaus Bard, you know, please. As well as his daughter Brianna, who passed away recently. This was a great family.
And last but not least, new board members to USA Water Polo's board of directors. Two Olympians, Brenda Villa, Peter Vorals, and Walt Price, have been named to the USA Water Polo Board of Directors. More information on this trio at usawaterpolo.org. We thank them for their service. And now time for the social media send-off. It's the way we wrap up our show every week, sharing the best of water polo on the internet. Get involved, use the hashtag counterattack. We start things off first. Tropical heading down to Belize. We've told you about Kaylee Gilchrist going from water polo to surfing. How about KK Clark going from water polo to modeling, joining Athleta in Belize for this photo shoot? Looks like that was not a bad place to be in these winter months. And from there, we go to cold surroundings. Colorado Springs, home of the USA Water Polo Holiday Camp every December. You have to check out this story shared on the USAWP ODP Twitter account. One athlete's parents' view of what that camp meant to her daughter, worth reading. Adam Krikorian, back for 4 more years, but honored by the LA Sports Council, their first ever Olympic Achievement Honors. He'll be recognized this February in Los Angeles. Spartan Water Polo Club getting things done in Orlando. They want the shout out. They got it, going 4-0. Nice job to the club from Michigan. Always great to see our community leaders get involved with water polo. Irvine Mayor Pro Tem Lynn Schott supporting Dare to Dream. She was on site at the 10 and Under Festival and also tweeting out her support. Love to see her involved. St. Francis, Pennsylvania Water Polo won't play an official game for another year, but they've already got one thing mastered: how to put on your water polo cap. Check this out. And then, of course, the big news this week, Dejan Udovicic, Adam Krikorian re-signing with Team USA, athletes chiming in. Kaylee Gilchrist, a little dig at Coach here, asking about his hair. I'm not someone who can laugh at that one. The USOC lending their support via the Team USA account, hyped to have Adam and Dejan back. Alex Rolsa, a first-time Olympian in 2016. He's fired up for both coaches to be returning. And Maggie Steffens, she hasn't had her birthday. Christmas hasn't come yet in 2017, but she already knows the best gift she is going to get this year. Thrilled to have her coach back with Team USA. And that is our social media send-off, the best of what we have found water polo-wise on the internet. Make sure you're involved next week. Use the hashtag counterattack, and we'll share the very best of your tweets, Instagrams, and Facebooks right here on the show. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget, when you're on the counterattack, look weak side.